That's fine. All right then. So 7:18. Start the meeting. Type B Economic Development Corporation and Parks Board regular meeting for January 10th. We do have a quorum, so I assume we don't have any citizens forum this evening. All right. So the city secretary to administer oath of office to newly appointed, reappointed directors.
Yes, sir. We have a total of 3 present. We have Glenn Walden, Bill, and Courtney. I can have all 3 of you stand up and raise your right hand.
Oh, that's just him.
If you would repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Glenn Walden,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
the office of Type B Economic Development Corporation
Office of Type B Development
Development Corporation.
for the city of Joshua,
for the city of Joshua,
state of Texas,
state
State
of
of
Texas,
Texas.
and will to the best of my ability
And will to the best of my ability.
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution
and laws of the United States
and laws of the United States
and of this state,
and
And
of
this
this state.
state.
so help me God.
So help me God.
Thank you.
Welcome again.
Thank you.
All right, next is discuss, consider, and possible action on appointment of the following positions for a 1-year term: president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer.
Is this something you can do individually or you can do them all together?
I nominate Merle Bratton as president. No. Pay taxes. Time for, do I get a second?
No. What did you say? Did you make a motion
I
down
make a
there?
motion for Merle Brattenstein to be president.
He doesn't want it.
There you go. He doesn't deserve it, but.
I make a motion that Dustin Dees be president.
Second.
Yeah, that was awful quick. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Doesn't matter to me.
I just need a
You're
total
willing to
vote.
serve?
All those in favor?
Oh, yeah, take a vote to keep me as president. All
I
eyes
don't know
in
if I can
favor?
vote yet, but
Yeah.
yes.
Any no's? All right. It passed unanimously. Vice President,
Now you bring in Merle.
No.
I nominate Merle.
I'll second it.
All right.
That was quick.
Yeah.
Quick, take a vote for
Take a
change his
vote.
mind.
All the yeses, keep or have Merle as Vice President. Raise your hand, please. That's unanimous. Passed. Next would be Secretary. Any
You have to,
nominations?
yeah, the bylaws requires the secretary, even though I do the position, we still need someone to serve as secretary, so you basically just overlook what I do.
I nominate Kim.
I'll second that.
Amen.
I can do that.
So to a vote, all the yeses, please raise your hand. It's unanimous, passed. And then the last position is treasurer.
I nominate Courtney.
Second.
Her. And please raise your hand to vote for Courtney to be treasurer.
But my only question is, my husband works for the state comptroller, so will I be having to sign checks or anything? Okay, then I'm fine. He just prefers me to stay out of that in case he audits.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so that was unanimously passed. That's it, right? Just those 4. Okay. All right,
I
discuss.
won't call y'all sexist or anything since the women took the 2
True.
lesser of the 4 offices.
You get a chance to be
No,
president.
that's all right.
Taking the president right
I just had
now.
to throw that out and give y'all.
Congratulations. I'll swap with you, secretary for vice president.
Okay, discuss and review the year-to-date financial statements as of December 2021.
Well, I tell you, we are trending a bit above projections, 30%.
But don't get excited, it's Christmas. So that number will begin to fall over the next few months down to something probably a little more realistic. There were no significant expenditures for type B this period or this month. Past month of your current fund balance, $788,368. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them. Perhaps.
Anybody have any questions on the financial statement for December?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
We don't need
We
action,
don't need action on that.
just information.
Are we getting our money's worth of economic development?
You are, and actually, because we should have put on here, if y'all have not met Molly as of yet, Molly is our new economic development director. We kind of ripped her off from Keene. We appreciate all the training and education they provided for her. She's so far has done a very good job. She's hit the ground running and stirring up lots of things in the community. Really good. And she will slowly be taking over, kind of working with these two boards with y'all in type A. And so we're certainly glad to have her, and y'all stop by and say hello before you leave. She'll probably be asking you for some money for tonight. So she has type A for lunch. Maybe not. We'll see.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to officially meet you.
Thank you.
All right, discuss, consider, and possible action to approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting in September. Been a minute since we met. I don't even think I was at that one, actually.
You are.
Thanks for reminding me.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
Second.
All in favor of approving the minutes from September? Raise your hand. Anybody doesn't want to approve the minutes? Minutes have been approved. All right, next, discuss, consider, and possible action on approval of the proposed naming policy.
Back some time ago, the question was brought up, or the council had been confronted with some folks that had an interest in putting names on city facilities, parks, and just whatever. And so the council decided that the park board would be the best place to vet those requests. And so we put this together. It's probably been over a year ago. And then it's just been put on the back burner and put on the back burner, and it's come up again. And so we've decided to go ahead and bring this forward and get this nailed down so that when people submit a request, it would go through this board. We would verify the information provided. This kind of outlines the information they need to provide to us when making the request. They will actually have to come to this board in person and carry their own water. We won't do it for them. Y'all would then make a recommendation to the city council whether to approve or deny their request. And then obviously the council would act on it and either affirm or disagree, whatever. They would have the final say, but they felt like that this would be the best board to start that process.
When you say it's been brought up again, was that by a citizen or by somebody on the
It
board?
was by a citizen who has requested a couple of times to put a name on the park. But we've just not had a policy. We've been asked before about naming stuff for various people. It's come up. We just really haven't had a procedure to do it. So we've decided, since the school's already named all their buildings, we might ought to get something set. There's, some kind of qualifiers here. There's, some exclusions for certain people and for certain things. And like I say, this is a draft that we can certainly amend. There's something on here that we made a few changes from the last meeting. Unfortunately, my notes from that last meeting, thanks to my computer crashing and having to be replaced, I lost a lot of my notes for this stuff, and that was one of them. But this has been updated to reflect those changes unless there are more. I suspect that once it's approved and adopted, I know that we're going to get a request right off the bat for the park again, which is fine. And I suspect that we will get some other requests for whether it's other facilities or, we've got a new park that's going to be coming online this year and maybe a third one, depending on how fast they move in Joshua Meadows. So, we might want to put something out for people to recommend a name for that park, or you might just, might want to call it Cooper Valley Park. I don't know how y'all want to deal with that, but
So this is a draft of the naming policy.
this is
Are
a,
we to make suggestions or changes to this?
you can if you want to, or if you're fine with it. And it's kind of a moving document, so it's an internal policy, a directive to do it. So this won't be adopted into ordinance. But names that are approved or changes that are approved, say they decided to name the Scott Kimball Park, then that would be done by resolution by the council. So this can be changed and amended.
Because it doesn't go along with this policy.
Excuse me,
Because they would make a resolution for what reason?
to name the park, officially give the park the new name.
Okay.
It will be done by resolution of the council. And then hopefully, one of the things you'll notice is that almost in every case, it will be the name of a person who is deceased. That way they don't go out and commit a felony or something, and then we have to turn around and change the name of the park. Or
I was just about to ask, what happens, 2 years down the road, you find out whoever the park's named after had a shady past that nobody
Yeah,
knew
that's-
about.
That's
Well,
our job, though.
that's our job to
find
vet it.
out.
They can't be a
Right?
they can't be a previously convicted felon or even adjudicated. So that we'll send all the names to the PD to have all that verified. We'll have them, it'll be on them to provide the documentation that we need, but we will then do some of our own due diligence and make sure that we're not naming things after,
Shady.
perverts or
Shady character.
shady people. Yeah.
Sorry, Marl.
We need to get this in place, because when we condemn Merle's place and we'll make a dog park out of it, we're gonna need a name for it.
So is this something that we want to read over a little closer and maybe next meeting?
You can, if y'all want to wait till next month to come back with comments, and that's fine. I don't have an issue doing that. The council's not in a huge hurry, and I would like to get it right. So if there's some things that we took this draft from a few other cities around us who have similar policies, and we kind of formulated it to work with something we thought we could work with.
Does it
And
need to be tabled till next month? or-
it can be, like I say, it's not a pressing issue by the council on, if y'all want to chew on it, sleep on it, make some recommendations, that's fine.
I agree with you.
Do I need to make a motion table or do we?
I'll make a motion to table it to next month.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor of tabling this until next month? Everybody's in favor. So.
It is time to look at other cities.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a good idea rather than.
It's a big deal.
It is.
I mean, even though we're not the final say, but still.
We always see stuff, in Dallas get named after people and half the population is like, oh, that's ridiculous. And the other half. All right, discuss, consider and possible action on approval for the JVA to place an additional accessory building at the city park. So I think this was brought up last September and we tabled it to this.
Yeah, it was. Y'all had asked us to look at some other options, and we were trying to work out some other options for them, but quite honestly, there's just really not anything that's going to work for them. It's not going to be a huge building. It's going to be similar in size to what's there. I've told them that, of course, they're going to need to follow the same guidelines as last time. They'll need to paint it to match the existing stuff. Any expenses for electrical connections will be on them, and they've agreed to take those on. Basically, we're providing them a spot. It's portable, so it won't be permanently affixed. It can be moved. And I've also asked them that once they get it in place and get it painted and settled, that they do some limited landscaping around it just to we can't put trees and stuff, they'll get tore down, but there's a few things maybe we can do to some little
Where
shrubs.
are they wanting
and
to
stuff.
put it? Or where?
It's
was
gonna
the city
be
gonna-
right close behind the one they currently have in that open
Okay.
space out there.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of room for it. It'll,
They get that other one in there, Mike. Is there a gate back there?
Yeah.
there is a double
Okay.
gate back
Gate
there.
on
Yeah.
that side street.
Yeah, and I think it'll come in that gate. That'll be one of the limitations for it. It'll have to fit in that gate. Cause I'm not gonna take the fence down, but I guess if they want to pay to take the fence down, put it back up, that'd be okay with me, but I'm sure we can get them accommodated. I don't think it's a double gate, so it should be fine.
Are they gonna need concrete sidewalk up to it like the other one has, or are they gonna drive the?
That we probably will put a walkway to it. I expect that they probably will, kind of where the one is now, it ends at that sidewalk. So we'll probably, I would imagine they'll want to put something down there, and we'll help facilitate all that too. We can probably do that in-house for them if they ask Kristen nice. We'll make sure they get it.
Will pay for?
I'm sorry?
Is that something that this board will pay for?
No, it's something that board will pay for.
JVA board.
Yeah, and they've agreed they'll pay for anything that, all they're asking us for is the space. And I'm not really, I don't really object to it. My initial concern was that I don't want a row of portable buildings out there, but they do make a good case. We did have to relocate them out of the park building because of record storage. I mean, something that we're just obligated to do. We had to use that space for that. And it just didn't leave them any room to do anything over there. So,
They're gonna run electricity to it and everything?
well, they may tap off one of those poles. There's power out there already, so it'll be easy for them to tap onto, but they will pay to have that done too if they get to that point.
So then I guess we're looking for a motion to allow them to put a building on their dime at the ball fields.
I'll make a motion to approve the JBA to place the additional accessory building at the city park.
I'll second it, but I want to make a comment on it. Are there any restrictions on the size?
Yes,
And what are they?
it'll have to fit in that gate.
But they can go 40 foot long if they want to, or?
I think they told me it's 16 by 20 maybe. something like that. It's not a huge building. It's a little bigger than the one that's there, but it's not huge. Well, we're not gonna, I mean, it's not gonna be a monstrosity out there. We're not gonna let that happen.
All right.
What are they storing in the one they have? That one's full of their stuff or that has our records in it?
No, it's what they have out there now is full of bases and chalk and lime and just equipment in general.
It was zero turn.
Yeah, to drag the fields and stuff with, there's equipment out there like that.
Are their rosters growing or declining? I'm just wondering, because I hear a lot of people are going more towards BYA instead of
There's,
this way. So I
their
hate to
numbers
give them a
last
building
year
if they're not.
were less than previous, but I'm not sure that wasn't because of COVID.
Really. Okay.
They've been staying, I want to say between 600 and 800. They were down quite a bit last year, but again, I mean, I think it was because of COVID. So they're getting ready to start registration now if they haven't already for.
Other than Burleson, which is its own living, breathing giant, you know, if you compare it to Crowley, Godly, Everman, Joshua's is one of the larger in the area.
Yeah, a lot of those, they come here and play a lot. We go there and play and probably for being, and I can't stress this enough, somewhat self-sufficient. The last thing I want to do is for the city to take over baseball.
Yes.
And I mean, I just don't want to, I don't want to do that. So they've been a good partner for the most part. The relationship works pretty well. And so I think it'll be okay.
I was, yeah, I'm not any longer. I don't have a dog in the hunt anymore.
Yeah.
So. Okay, so we have a motion and a second, all approve. All right. The ayes have it. Okay, next, discuss, consider, and possible action on moving forward with the following projects. First one is Cooper Valley Park.
So there's some money budgeted for the park in Cooper Valley. We talked about a volleyball court in the big park. And then the soccer fields that we talked about a few years ago down in Joshua Station, using the detention pond to put some soccer fields and stuff in down there. It's a big open space that's really underutilized. We can't build any permanent structures in there, but there's room around it if we chose at some point to put a concession stand or something down, restrooms. There's enough property by the park and ride that can be done. Mainly what we're talking about is the soccer fields around there, and we would be pursuing a Parks and Wildlife grant like we did at that time to try to help fund that. So my question to you is we have not picked an implement like we call those things people crawl all over.
Little gym.
So something similar to that. They had talked about wanting something like that down there. We have not picked that piece to go, but we have set aside some money for that.
Weren't we supposed to have somebody come in and present that to?
We were, and then that didn't happen and it just kind of got away. We will revisit that and get some updated pricing and some options, and we can bring that person back. I just want to make sure that, because we've got some new faces, that's still the direction we're going. We still do not have any plans to put in restrooms there. There'll be a water fountain, I think.
Be like a water fountain with like a dog water fountain or something.
Yeah, we'll probably imagine
So
so.
in Cooper Valley.
Yeah,
The
in the sidewalk,
the
walking track.
Yeah, the Johnson County Special Utility District has indicated that they would like to help participate in that park and to do some things. So, they've talked about the water and the sewer. I think Glenn's going to squeeze a fountain out of them or something, or he's going to try to. We'll see what they want to do, but they do want to do something to be a part of it. So a walking trail has been discussed. Few other things have come up. We have not planned on putting a parking lot. I figured most of the customers to this thing are going to be in the neighborhood. They're going to be walking anyway. So we will tie into the sidewalk system out there. And then we need to fence it. We need to put a fence across the back of it. There's barbed wire on the fence behind us. And so I don't want some mama calling, screaming, all that because your kid got hung up in the barbed wire or bit by a turtle or got poison ivy, any of those fun things that we
It's
get.
gonna happen anyway.
But if y'all, if y'all's desire to stay with the way we were going, that's fine. I want to tell you, I do have some concerns about a volleyball court because I believe the long-term maintenance of that is going to be a huge pain.
The volleyball court would go out at the park.
Yeah, I would go to the big park over here.
Jog my memory, the man who presented the volleyball court.
Robert Fleming, he's a city council member.
That's right.
He brought it and asked it to be considered.
Okay.
And so the consensus at the time was to build it. But-
So that will be that sand,
And like I say, COVID hit, and so everything has been kind of,
heavy maintenance, I would think.
it is going to be, or it could be.
Right,
I'm sorry.
depends on how it's built.
It does depend on how it's built, and we could, from looking at it, it's one of those things we could spend $100,000 on, or we could spend $5,000 on. But if the biggest problem is, no matter what we spend, is, the wind blows out there all the time, and so you're going to get weeds and seeds and all kinds of stuff blown into that sand that at some point will take root that, we'll have to deal with. But that's what we got the guys in the park for. So if y'all still want to build that thing over there, we will
Is
get ready.
Robert Fleming representing a lot of people that wanted this or no?
I don't know. He came to me and talked about it and said that a few people had asked him about it. But part of, I guess, kind of leading into this leads us to item J about the park master plan. It's time to update the plan again. We know that. We can't apply for any grant funding unless that thing is up to date within 5 years. And that could be, that could be part of the conversation, but I think more importantly, we haven't done a survey of what people wanted in the park in 15 years since the original survey was done. And so I should have the numbers on what it will cost to update the park master plan. And I've asked them to include a survey that they will do and provide, and they will, kind of like we did last time, we'll bring community people in. We'll find out what the interests are. Last time they surveyed 600 people. I'm probably going to double that this year. We'll send those things out. We got, I want to say, about 55% back the last time. So, and
Pretty
then
good.
this park has the only thing that is not the top 11 items that they asked for are in this park, with the exception of a tennis court. I think that was like number 6 or 7 or something, and we didn't do that. But everything else is in there. So, but it's for future stuff, future parks, and it could be that we want to get that plan updated a little bit before we do anything else. Maybe some of these amenities might fit in Cooper Valley or in Joshua Meadows or maybe even over here. So we might have it listed having the cart before the horse.
Makes sense to
I
me.
think that makes a lot of sense to me to see what a survey brings.
Well, we have a lot of new clientele with a lot of new housing. They
Well,
may have
that's
a
right.
different
There's a
perspective
lot of
than the
new
last
people
survey.
moving out here, and a lot have already moved in here. And I think some of the feedback from those, there's some young couples that, it might be interesting to see. And to kind of see, I put the current park plan in your folder, and that list of things is in there of what they requested in order. And so we would do another list like that. And
So how soon could something like that take place?
I don't know. I'll know the specifics tomorrow. I'll know the cost. The update that we did last time, it didn't take that long, but we didn't get as in depth as I think what we do. We didn't do a survey. We didn't redo the list. We just kind of updated demographics and kind of didn't really get into the nitty gritty, but like I say, in 15 years, I think it's time to just redo the whole thing. It's going to cost a little money, but I think it's going to give us a lot of really good information. I know the first one did. Kind of laid the groundwork for everything that's out there.
Well, are you saying put a hold on all of this? Because Cooper Valley, I mean, we pretty well know,
Yeah.
we've talked about that. We know
Cooper Valley
what's
is,
going there.
I don't think that the survey is going to produce anything in Cooper Valley. It's probably going to be either additions over here, or the only thing that I'm thinking is some of these outdoor recreation stations have gotten very popular. That is something that could fit in Cooper Valley. If you walk so many, half mile, quarter mile, whatever, and then there's a workout station, and then you walk a little more, and then there's another one. They can be as big as you want. People have asked us to put them out here. It may be better suited out here. It's bigger. It's more of a, there's a lot more room for it, but something like that would probably be the only thing that might be considered at that park. And it may still even be too small for that, because the walking trail, I mean, maybe a quarter mile at best around. I mean, it's not that big. So I don't know that it's going to change that, but it's not so much a funding issue. That's an easy thing to do. I probably wouldn't start any of this stuff until the spring anyway. So we have some time if y'all want to just stop, do the park survey and update the plan and go from there and make these decisions. Or if you want to move forward with.
I mean, I think I agree that Cooper Valley doesn't have to
I'd hate to
stop.
stop that.
I don't think that has to.
Because
I'd
it
like to
doesn't have a parking lot, right? So I think the workout station would be more beneficial to a park that has parking. Because then more people could benefit than just
Yeah,
those
I mean,
neighborhoods.
that's,
you
yeah,
know?
that's exactly right. It would be a better fit over here.
I think that volleyball court or even the soccer field, it's a whole different.
Soccer field's not gonna be much of an expense or much of an upkeep.
I mean, the soccer fields down there.
Field's already there.
We'll have that stuff slicked up and probably seed it and irrigate
You'll
it.
have portable stands and this, that, and other. You
Yeah, I
can
mean,
move
we can't
around.
put anything permanent in it, but that's not gonna be a huge expense for us, especially if we can get it done through a park grant.
Didn't we already get a park grant, Mike, on that at one time?
On the soccer fields,
Soccer fields.
we applied for one, but we didn't get
We didn't get
funded.
it.
We did.
Something like $40,000 grant or.
Yes, it was 40 grand to cover some stuff on the inside.
The only thing about the volleyball court, that's gonna be an adult sport mostly. And that's gonna bring in another problem. You're gonna maintain the alcohol at the volleyball court with all the kids in the park.
I think Merle had a great idea, the Citizens Police Academy,
But we
Citizen
can't
on
shoot 'em.
Patrol.
We can't shoot them.
We don't want to shoot.
We
those
can write a
people.
ticket though.
Yes.
Well, I
That's
certainly
gonna
want
be-
to put a hold on the volleyball court. They're a maintenance nightmare.
Well, everybody that has them that I've talked to says that they're,
I have, when those
Cat
leaves start
litter box.
growing, the adults don't play on it, nobody plays on it, and it
I'd rather
just
see a
starts
tennis
growing.
court.
I'd rather
Ants.
put that on.
Yeah,
hold.
ants are a
Ants, and
problem
then
until the
lots of kids
survey's
are
done, but-
allergic.
Yeah.
Like, we try to stay away from ants.
I think the survey will bring out a lot more stuff than.
So we-
Volleyball park.
talking about moving forward, keep looking at stuff on Cooper Valley and we'll still do the survey.
Go ahead and do.
I'm ready to do Cooper Valley.
Me too.
Well, y'all
We still
got,
gotta know what
you gotta
we're gonna
pick a
get,
few
right?
things.
You know,
I gotta, yeah, before we start
Play sets or whatever.
putting stuff in, we need to get it set up. So,
Bring the people in and let's talk to them.
okay, we'll bring them in next month.
Okay, so
What kind of
make a motion to.
I don't need you to make a motion.
motion? Okay.
Okay,
It
don't,
says possible action. We'll just take the notes and
okay,
we'll bring it back to you
possibly see something
in
next.
February.
All right, then, moving on to discussion on the update of the park master plan. which
What we
we
just
kind of
talked
just talked about.
about.
We'll put that on the agenda too for your approval and
Okay,
Survey, no volleyball.
so find out what it's gonna cost.
Okay.
Play pickle.
all right, then,
And then I'm
next,
gonna need each of you people to pick someone that we can for sure get on the list, or if you would like to be on that list to make sure that everybody get on the survey list, because we won't send it to everybody in the city, but I'd like to send out about 12 or 1,500.
Is there any way we can identify, young couples, that's moved into the city?
We can ask, you mean that are already here?
Right, what is it, Wildwood down here? Is full of people with kids.
We can pull demographic stuff that's published through a different company, but that's where we get them.
Old people. Well, old people just don't use too many things. They need the geriatrics.
Short answer is not a real accurate count, but we can get averages.
Right, but I mean, we can mail them, the ones that got little kids that are actually gonna start using the park. Or,
Well, part of the component was we went to some of the elementary schools
okay,
when we did the survey. So I expect that we will do that again.
And you'll be doing it on social media anyway, I mean, Facebook, and that's where you're gonna find your young people.
Yeah, and that may be the way they're doing the surveys now, rather than mail doing them on.
That's the last one, we did a parks, and we
Yeah.
did it strictly on that, and. got a
When you
good
put it out on
turnout. But you could
Facebook, you'll
tell,
get,
You knew that age group that was.
yeah, you're gonna get
that's good.
recommendations.
That's
from
what
us.
somebody that's got young kids and somebody's got, like me.
Well, we can ask in the survey too, to identify their,
Age.
their age and their
Right.
children, and that's all stuff that we can plug
Okay.
you
into.
can only put so many porch swings at a park, right?
I bet it- you gotta have your flowers.
We got your wheelchair ramps in there.
That's all I need.
So I have for the future agenda item is the survey list nomination for each person to bring someone back or their self, correct?
Yeah, give me a name of somebody that, of course, if they do it with social media, it's not really they're gonna get it anyway, I'm sure. So you can just forget the name thing. I didn't really think about that, because we probably are gonna do, it's probably not gonna be a mail out.
Okay, then. Any future agenda items that anybody would like to discuss next time, other than all the ones that we've already mentioned?
And we discussed the fishing tonight.
No, not yet.
That's Saturday, isn't
Is
it?
that coming up?
I
Yes.
saw it. We're going.
So we have our first youth trout fishing event. It's good this Saturday. Alice has been pushing it out on our social media. I contacted the schools today to see if they'd be willing to push it out even further. Just to try to gain some more interaction. We're pretty excited about this event. Some sponsors are providing lunch as well. So it'll be this Saturday from noon until 3. We will serve lunch from noon. Fishing will start at 1. And we will have volunteers out there to help those that've never fished before. And we will also have volunteers out there to clean the fish for them. Yes, so we want to really make this a fun event for them. And we also have sponsors that have purchased fishing poles that the kids will get to keep those as well.
The
I love this.
First 50 kids will get to keep
Yes.
fishing
yeah.
pole.
What's,
Until supplies
what's the
run.
age?
So I think.
You
that-
can fish too.
Well, I was making sure.
Just
Yes.
get a license.
Yes, we do have on the flyer that anybody 17 and over has to get a fishing license.
Son is
Anybody under-
16 and he's so excited about this. He loves fishing.
Bring him on.
So we're really excited about this event. I think the weather right now, the last time we checked, was be like 53 degrees, 5% chance of rain. So the weather is going to be good. And we've had some really good responses with sponsors to help us out with this event. So we're
Yeah,
really-
so our cost here pretty much is covered through sponsorship. We had to buy some trout. And then Parks and Wildlife is a little more than matching what we purchased. And so, but that amount's been covered through donations. The fishing poles were covered through donations. Merle and Molly have been ramrodding this gig, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm sorry,
close to 1,500.
about 1,500 will be the total.
Yeah.
And so the council is authorized to catch and carry, so to speak. They've okayed that, so they'll be able to take out whatever they catch. There's a 5 fish limit by state law, so. And Parks and Wildlife will have people there too. There'll be a couple of game wardens probably out there from what they tell us that can answer questions about things, and they'll send some people to help.
We have Lone Star Law out there.
The bass, the
See that?
high school bass team is going to be out there helping. I think FFA is sending a few.
I talked to him, I go back, talk to him more
Yeah,
again. But-
I think they're going to send some, so.
So we have a flyer. If you guys want to reach out to me, I didn't bring any business cards today. I'm sorry. But I would love to email those to you if you guys want to throw that on your social media.
Yeah.
And just really push it for us. It'd be great.
What's your email address?
It is mmartin@cityofjoshuatx.us.
How are we gonna recognize everybody? Are we gonna put up a speaker system out there, Mike, or like
Can.
huh? Well, no, I'm
Can.
just thinking about, it. I was looking on there a while ago for banners, but it's too late to get a banner, I would imagine by now.
You put them in a.
That's one of your rules, man. You were on.
That's kind of the beauty of an event like this is.
We could probably get away with putting our own banner out there, I would guess, but
Well, I mean, just thanking the donors, you know,
yeah, we can set up the sound stuff and we can do all
to
that.
thank all them and recognize them for helping us out with this first ever
And
annual kids.
we could probably call Keith and bend his arm and get a banner if you wanted to.
Well, I don't care. I mean, that's what I brought up here
We
for.
could
We're
spring
gonna
for
do it.
that.
I was thinking too, because what's really easy, those yard signs that you can put into the ground, they're not very
Yeah, I
expensive
know I
at
can
all.
get
We
some
can
of
switch
those
those
made.
out every year. And it's easy, you can put each sponsor
Right.
on each one around the pond. I don't know if we're running down the
Well, that's
wire.
probably in violation too. I probably signed that too years
You
ago.
probably did.
You signed anything they put in
We're
front
back
of
to
you.
bite you there.
There was a little clause though in the park ordinance that allows the city manager some leeway to do some things. So but maybe some signs will fall into that. That according to the city attorney, mind you.
But we don't need to ask him either. He'll do it.
Easier to ask forgiveness than permission.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone
Right.
taking pictures to post all this fun stuff on social media, because I think even if we don't have a huge turnout this time, but if we show everybody having this huge, amazing, great time, that we'll have more next time.
Yes, I'm
I agree.
very big into, advertising,
pictures.
posting and always showing what we have going on. Because the quality of life here is extremely important. It brings people, it brings businesses. So yes, and then any pictures that you take when you're there, please share them
Email
with
them to
me
you.
and we can post those as well.
So other than the email that I got about this, I haven't seen anything on social media about this.
Oh, it's been, it's on
I
the city
saw it
page.
on, I saw it
Yeah.
a week or so,
We've had
but only like once.
Yeah.
I only saw it like one time.
It's
but-
on there and we've had, when I
I
tell you,
live on
4,000,
Facebook and I have
5,000
yet to
people
see.
so
I
far.
just had a little over
Dustin Dees,
4,000.
you're gonna have to quit looking at those sites that you're on and go to some legitimate ones.
So I think we spent a little money to push it as well. And then she also created an event so people can actually say whether they're gonna.
That's where I saw it.
Yeah, because
I
there's
went- I saw
literally
the
5,000 people has already looked at it, shows on there.
Have you had anybody say they're going to attend?
Oh, yeah, there's been several on there.
We put it on the JRT and everybody will know about it by morning.
Yep,
Go ahead.
and they'll be griping about it. I'm
I
sure.
know, it's sad.
Yeah.
Hey, any other agenda items for next time? If not, I think that's it.
Make a motion to
We
adjourn.
don't need a motion.
I don't need that.
Don't need a motion.
I'm ready.
Meeting adjourned, 8:01.